Good evening, everyone. I am Joel Francis P. Pagaspas, and tonight's topic is about the story of Isagani. So, in the early life of Isagani, Isagani was an orphan taken by Padre Florentino, rumored to be his own son by a female cousin or a son of a widowed former sweetheart. So, at some point in his life, he became lovers with Paulita Gomez. So, also in his faith and in his life, after many of his students in the association were jailed for supposedly posting seditious poster, Isagani met with the Jesuit Padre Fernandez in his office, arguing with him about the friar's education of the students. He later turned himself in and was jailed like the others. So, following Isagani's release, thanks to Padre Florentino, he learned that Paulita was engaged to Juanito. He thus watched their wedding reception from afar. As he did, he ran into Basilio and who urged him to flee. Isagani refused, wanting to see Paulita one last time. When Basilio informed him that there was a bomb in that house that was going to kill everyone inside, Isagani rushed to save Paulita, throwing the lamp in the river before escaping himself. The day after, he hid with the Orenda family, evading the authorities. So, one of the most significant characters in Jose Rizal's book, El Filibusterismo Isagani. Numerous elements of the story that are crucial to the novel's overall message are symbolized by this character. Isagani portrays the many social issues that the author seeks to address and bring to the light. From his role as a student to his love life, you'll learn the significance of Isagani as you read on and see how he personifies some of the most important issues facing the society he lives in. So, in the book El Filibusterismo, the student Isagani stands in for today's youth. He is a prime example of the aspirations, desires, and dreams of young generation that longs for advancement and change. He is driven to reform, eager to learn, and committed to being a part of the change and that the society so desperately needs. Rizal emphasizes the importance of education in empowering young people and influencing the future by showcasing his character. Isagani embodies the young people's struggle for better future. So Isagani's character traits. Isagani is one of the most notable characters in Jose Rizal's novel El Filibusterismo. He is an intellectual, idealistic, selfless, courageous, and compassionate type of person. So Isagani's relationship with his friends. So first is his loyal friend Basilio. The two young men are both passionate about their studies and their country, and they often discuss their hopes and dreams for the future. His love life. Paulita Gomez, the daughter of the wealthy and influential man. Although Paulita is engaged to another man, Isagani remains hopeful that he can win her heart. His rival in Paulita Gomez's heart is Juanito Pelaez, who represents the middle class in the Philippine society. While Isagani and Juanito don't always see eye to eye in political matters, they share deep respect for one another. So Isagani's relationship with Paulita Gomez. Isagani and Paulita's relationship is one of the central themes in the novel as it represents the struggle between the upper class and oppressed citizens in the Philippine society during the Spanish colonization. Paulita is torn between her love for Isagani and her loyalty to her father, who is a Spanish collaborator. This symbolizes the internal struggle of the wealthy Filipinos during that time. Isagani's love for Paulita serves as a driving force for him to fight against the injustice inflicted upon the people by the Spanish colonizers. So, the significance of Isagani and Paulita's relationship. The romance between Isagani and Paulita is not your typical love story. Their relationship serves as a metaphor for the conflict and the struggle experienced by the Filipinos under Spanish colonial rule. Isagani is aware of the corruption and injustice carried out by the Spanish government. Because he belongs to the educated class, Paulita's father, on the other hand, is an accomplice who profits from the exploitation of the Filipinos. Exploitation of the Filipinos. Their relationship serves as a metaphor for the struggle of the educated class, which is constrained by the social obligation and allegiance despite knowledge of the situation and awareness of it. So, Isagani's love for Paulita as a motivation for change. Isagani's love for Paulita as his inspiration for change, in addition to representing the internal conflict of Filipino people. In an effort to improve the relationship between them, he fights against the injustice committed by the Spanish colonizers by using the knowledge and power. Isagani's traits is being loyal, shown in the book. Isagani's willingness to sacrifice his own happiness for the greater good for the society. Sacrificial. Isagani's plan to join the revolutionaries, even if it meant leaving behind his education and future with Paulita. Selfless. Isagani's decision to let go of Paulita for her safety, knowing that his love for her could endanger her life. So, the love of the Filipino people, having for their nation and their willingness to fight for the change in spite of the cost to themselves is exemplified by Isagani's devotion to Paulita. The relationship between Isagani and Paulita represents the complexities of Spanish colonial society and the struggle the struggle of the Filipino people for change. Their relationship represents the internal conflict of the Filipino people at that time, rather than being merely a romantic tale. So Isagani's view on education. Isagani's view on education were progressive for his time. He believed that education should be available to everyone, and not just for the elite. He advocated for equal opportunities and access to equality education for all. He saw that access to education is a fundamental right for every Filipino. Isagani had a far-reaching views on education, and his concepts are still relevant today. He believed that every student should have access to a high-quality education because he understood how important education is in transforming Filipinos' lives. So, in his view, education should be available to everyone, not just for the elites. Education should be well-rounded. Means that education is not just about academic excels, but also students should excel in arts and other also their talents. Education should inspire creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship. Education should be relevant to the needs of the community. The duty of the educated to share their knowledge and help uplift the lives of those around them. So, Isagani's view on revolution. Isagani is a pacifist by nature. She despises violent activity against revolution. He despises an act of violence towards revolution. Despite being aware of the Spanish government's atrocities, he preferred to change the system through legal means. He firmly believed that a peaceful approach could bring about reforms without resorting to violence. Isagani's views on revolution were also shaped by his faith. As a devout Catholic, he believed in divine intervention and prayed for the betterment of his country. Isagani saw the revolution as a moral, ambiguous concept that could lead to further chaos and suffering, contrary to the church teachings. On the other hand, Isagani was not entirely against revolutionary ideas. Although he opposed violence, he supported the ideas of the reformist and propaganda movement. Isagani believed that Filipinos deserved better treatment from the colonizers and the government should prioritize the locals' welfare instead of their own interest. Isagani's views on revolution. Isagani portrays the different facets of revolution, from its peaceful ideas to the violent methods. His character serves as a reminder that there are different ways to fight for one's country's freedom, and it is up to the people to decide which path to take. So, Isagani's symbolism. Isagani's character represents the collective consciousness of Filipino youth during the colonial period. Through his story, the novel portrays the struggle of freedom and sacrifices made by those who fought for it. Again, I'm Joel Francis P. Pagaspas. Thank you for listening.